Hi guys, welcome back to Freeze Drying Mama. Today we are talking about how to freeze dry keto-friendly meals, okay, or keto-friendly food. First we need to talk about what it means to be keto-friendly. I apologize for the noises. It's a busy day here. Spring has sprung. So my daughter and I have done keto for about 3 years, and at the last 6 months we've been kind of off and on trying to figure out where we fit, what's going to work for us. There's a bunch of different ways to do keto, okay? And for those of you who aren't aware, keto is more of where you're trying to get your body into ketosis, meaning you are fat burning and no longer carb burning. I mean, you'll burn carbs, but not when you're burning this way and you're only giving it fats for your fuel, okay? So you're focusing more on keeping your carb content low, and this is not just sugars. Carbs are in squash, they're in rice, they're in green beans, they're in corn, they're in carrots, onions, you name it, most likely it has carbs, unless of course we're talking bacon. Bacon is the ketoer's best friend. So we've done keto a bunch of different ways. There's keto, there's dirty keto, meaning you kind of mess around, you keep you're kind of loose with your net carbs, which the net carb for keto, standard keto net carb is anywhere from 20 to 30 grams. Anything over 50 grams and you're no longer keto dieting, you are low carb dieting or low carb eating, keto eating, whatever your lifestyle choice is, how you want to say it. So when I say we're going to do keto friendly, it's most likely that it's going to have low carbs, okay? Extremely low carbs, under the 20 gram range. Most likely that meal will fit in a day of low, 20 net carbs, because that's how we work. However, the one thing that you can't do when you freeze dry that does not support a keto lifestyle or keto food is the fats. So if you're having 70% of your diet is fats, then what you're hoping to do is to somehow preserve fats, that fat content, that fat fuel long term. That's really hard with the freeze dryer, because freeze drying is really, it's hard to get moisture out of fats because there's no moisture in fats. Fats themselves are greasy content. So here's what I recommend. What you do is, if you're going to be freeze drying for a keto lifestyle or a diabetic lifestyle or a low carb lifestyle, what you do is you find the things that will freeze dry for your lifestyle. Cheese. Check out a cheese video. I've got them all over the place. They work. Cheese works. It freeze dries nicely. The shredded dry freeze dries the best. If you're doing meats are great. Make sure they're leaner so they freeze dry better. I did a meal that was I presented it as mostly keto. We did spaghetti squash, meatballs that did not have any binder in it besides eggs, so there was no oats or anything in it. I had my sauce and we had Brussels sprouts. We also had noodles to show you what it looked like as well. But when you do keto, you need to be planning for what you eat. Remember, when you have high fats, you make it very difficult for your freeze dryer to preserve the food for a longer range of time than 5 years. It just is what it is. It's the science of the matter. So go for lean. Work on getting the leans. Now, you still are going to need fats. You're going to need fats because that's what the whole basis of ketosis is, right? You're no longer providing those carbs, and your body can't live on protein alone. So you need to give it fats for fuel. I like this. I'm not like sponsoring Perfect Keto. I'm not sponsoring their brand. I'm simply showing you what I have. Some of the things I have, not just these, but I have multiple styles of MCTs. MCT is a medium chain triglycerides. It's an oil powder, which is kind of amazing. You can kind of see in there what it looks like. It's just a powder. And what it does is it preserves that fuel that you have. So there's 7 grams of fat in 1 scoop here. And that helps you get your fats. And you can put this stuff in. There's no flavor in these. It's the best ones have no flavor. Then you can add it to whatever your keto dish is. It dissolves nicely. There's no flavor to it. You can put it in your coffee. You can put it in your cereal or whatever, but it helps boost your fats. Some of them have, so this one has 1 carb in it, but it's dietary fiber, so that makes it a 0 net carb. It's a way for you to be able to preserve your keto lifestyle in a situation where you don't have access to, say, coconut oil or butter or whatever, and you can't hike that with you, you can make some packets of these with your freeze dryer, put them in the Mylar bags, and you can sit there and scoop it out if you don't want to pack around a tub like this. It's possible. Okay, you can also make things with your MCT, like put it in your cookies, put it in your Malto-Meal. Malto-Meal is not keto friendly. I don't know why I just said that. Probably because I just did a video on Malto-Meal cereal. But you can mix this into things. You can put this into your soups. You can put this into your spaghetti squash or your meatballs. You can mix this in so that your fats will still be there. But you just can't use like a tub of coconut oil or vegetable oil or bacon grease. I would love to freeze fry bacon grease, but you can't. So let's go on and just figure out what we can freeze dry. So I've had a lot of people ask me, okay, what are some keto dishes? Here's the thing. If you can make it and it doesn't have high fat content, and obviously it's not gonna have high sugar content, you can most likely freeze dry it. So I'm doing this little sample. I made this for dinner last night, egg roll in a bowl, one of my favorite dishes. A lot of keto people love egg roll in a bowl. People who aren't keto love egg roll in a bowl because I can sit there and eat as many egg rolls as I want without the wrapper, right? It's just yummy. I am not going to freeze dry the whole thing because I'm eating it tonight too. So I did a little sample right here so we're gonna freeze dry it, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it comes out and how you would reconstitute it, because I love doing reconstitution videos. But I'm gonna show you what that looks like, and I'm gonna tell you how to do it, and I want you to apply this concept to other keto dishes that you make, okay? So for instance, there is a spaghetti squash casserole that is phenomenal. It has a lot of cheese in it, a lot of cream, but it freeze dries awesome. Okay, so you just have to make sure that you are putting enough things in there that will freeze dry. What freeze dries in a casserole? Sour cream. We know sour cream freeze dries very well on its own, so you can use that. We know that cream of chicken noodle soup freeze dries very well on its own. Use that. If you have one that you make yourself, go ahead and use it. Just remember to stay a little bit away from the fats, but the sour creams, those types of things work very well when they're mixed in with other things. Add your chicken, add your spaghetti squash cooked. I have a video that shows you how to do that. Make sure that you are thinking, how am I going to eat this in real life? If you're eating it at home and you're eating a keto lifestyle, you are most likely already making meals that you can freeze dry. You just have to be a little cautious with what it is that you are going to make. Just watch your fat content. Like I said, you can increase your fat content by using MCT oils or by using creams and that type of thing mixed with others that will increase your fat content. So that's really all you need to do, and watch your carbs. I remember telling someone when I first started keto, yeah, I can eat all the fat I want. And I forgot to say, as long as I cut my carbs. I gained weight when I was eating carbs and fats because I thought I could have my cake and eat it too, which I did do. So as you're figuring out this keto lifestyle and figuring out the things that you're trying to do and how you can extend this into a situation where you might not normally have access to, you want to start thinking, okay, if I make, like I did, I'm going to show you, I made my egg roll in a bowl. I made plenty. I totally could have freeze dried it, but I loved it so much that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to freeze dry this batch. I'll make another batch. Maybe I'll make another batch and eat it because I like eating it. I love eating it. So next time you make a keto dish, Keto's casserole, Big Mac salad, something, take the ingredients that you know will freeze dry and freeze dry them. Try it. Make extra, double your dish next time. So that's what I should have done. I made a double batch of egg roll in a bowl, and some of my not keto kids in my family ate some of my stuff. So that's another reason why I'm low. And I'm like, oh, fine, I'll make more. Not that I'm complaining about making more. So I'm going to tell you what's in the egg roll in a bowl for me, how I make it, and then we're going to freeze dry it, and we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to reconstitute it, and it's going to be super fun. So my daughter's going to come down here and I'm going to show you. So this is just the portion that I've got, and I just spooned out the fluid and everything. I would, like I said, normally do a full tray, but I'm not having it because I want to have it tonight for dinner. So I do ground venison, or go as lean as you can. Ground turkey, ground beef, the 93%. And then, so you brown that first. And so if you do venison or elk, rinse it. You will have, if you rinse the meat, you'll get rid of that gaminess. I'll try and do a video on how to rinse that. And then you put that all into a pan. Then you add your sliced onions. I know, I know onions aren't exactly keto friendly, but you know what? It's okay. You can have some in this. It's not going to hurt anything. I don't put carrots in mine because carrots actually do adversely affect my glycemic index, so I don't eat carrots. But some people do sliced carrots, and that's fine. Shredded carrots in theirs, and that's okay. You do what's going to work for you. Then I have a full cabbage cut up and tossed in here as well. And then I add in the brown sugar. Then I add in the Swerve brown sugar, 2 tablespoons for 3 pounds of meat. You don't need very much. And then I add in ginger. Then I add in ginger and soy sauce. Okay. And I add it to flavor, and I keep adding it. Sometimes I'll add some salt. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of monk fruit because I like Swerve. I like it just fine, but it sometimes has a kind of chemical flavor, and I've learned that when you use erythritol-based sugars, sweeteners, it's better to mix them with another one, like a stevia-based one, or another more natural-based flavoring, like monk fruit. Monk fruit sweetener works really well with erythritol-based ones. So maybe I would toss that in. I absolutely highly recommend crushed red peppers. When it freeze dries, it just keeps a little bit of that flavor in there that is so phenomenal. And it also helps with the meat flavor. I do rinse my meat, like I said. I try really hard to prevent that gaminess taste. Sometimes it's unavoidable when you're cooking with gamey meat. But I'm blessed. My meat is not usually that gamey, so when I do a little bit of doctoring to it, it tastes just fine. So this is what you do, and then you cook it, and you make sure everything get nice and soft. I go just to al dente for mine. I don't go until they're like totally stringy. You can still see they're still kind of uncooked in some spots, which is how I prefer my cabbage. Some people like it more, like how it looks like the onions, right? See that onion? So you're gonna have to pick and choose what works for you. Okay, I don't want to tell you what to do and what to think. You've got to be able to do this on your own with regards to making sure the food is prepared the way that you want it. Because remember, I push you need to cook and I push you need to freeze dry food the way you're going to eat it after. So in just a few minutes, it'll be more like 3 days, I will be right back and I will show you how to reconstitute this after it's been freeze dried. This mama's got a cold. 3 days ago, we plated this up, a keto dish, right? And now I can barely talk, but I promised you results, and so we're gonna do this anyway. So if you can bear with my Kermit the Frog voice, we'll get this done. All right, so remember, I plated up this cabbage roll dish. Egg roll in a bowl is what I called it. It's not cabbage roll, it's egg roll in a bowl. It had the meat, it had the sauce, or the cabbage in it, onions, all those seasonings and stuff that I told you about. And then on the rest of the tray, I did broccoli, just regular broccoli. It was frozen broccoli. It was the broccoli florets. That's what I prefer. I don't like the stalks. That's my personal preference. But broccoli is a really good one for keto because it's lots of fiber, very low net carbs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them on here actually, so you can see it reconstitute, and then I'm going to transfer it to a plate. And I'm just going to add hot water. You can see it adding there. We're going to talk a little bit about this. Now, this is a keto dish, but it doesn't have a lot of fat in it. In fact, I would venture to guess it doesn't have more than 1 or 2 grams of fat in the entire thing because it is venison. Venison is an extremely lean meat, and I did not add any fat to it because I knew I was going to freeze dry it. So, what does that mean for keto people? That means when you're reconstituting this and you're getting ready to serve it, a really great item to put on here would be mozzarella cheese. A great way to add a very, very low carb option, and it will keep the integrity of the flavor without ruining it. And broccoli, hello, is always delicious with cheese. Well, anything's delicious with cheese, let's be honest, but we're not talking about my beliefs in cheese right now. If I was doing this, so I'm just doing this with hot water here, boiling water that I got out of the microwave, just so you can see that this is possible to do even if you are like in the end of the world situation and you can only make hot water. You could also eat this without doing anything to it. You could have just eaten it like a sandwich, like a little whatever. What are they called? Crackers. You know, I'm always comparing our freeze-dried food to crackers. The broccoli takes a little bit longer, even though it is a carb, and most carbs absorb rather quickly. The structure, the vascular structure of these, and I say vascular because it is very similar in plants to our vascular structure in humans.
They are protected, they're in a certain long way, they have the sheaths, they have all of this stuff in it to protect it. But here we can see, if you give it just enough time and you put it at the right angle to get up this part of the stalk, it will absorb rather quickly. But when you keep it like this and it's up, this is not reconstituting quickly because we have not made it accessible like a plant. So if it's taken you a little bit of time to get something reconstituted, just make sure that the stalk part, whether it's celery, broccoli, cauliflower, anything like that, just move the stalk. You don't have to use your fingers. I use my fingers with everything, I feel like. But just put the seed. You can see how just by putting the stalk down, it's acting like a sponge, and that water's moving right up there. And you can, there we go. It's starting to get, and this looks like it might have been a stubborn one from the beginning anyway. Okay, you can start feeling that. So you can hear where it's not, but then there's some spots where it is. So you just want to make sure that as you're moving it around in your dish, or as you're trying to reconstitute it in a pan or a plate or whatever, that it has access to the water. So just stir that broccoli around. This one hasn't had any access to any water, and you can hear it, but we'll put it right there, and maybe I'll add a little bit more water here to it. Make it easier. So there we go. Here we go. That's getting nice and soft now. But you just want to make sure that opening, oh, that is soft. Okay. See, and I like my broccoli really soft if I'm eating it from a frozen state. Okay, so there's that. Now let's go back to the keto dish. We've given it a little bit of time to get soft. The cabbage is still working on it because it looks like that protein has been sucking that up, which is surprising actually. But I think the sauce had a little bit of carbs in it. Not a lot, but enough to make it to where it will hold on to the water. And sweeteners, so I use Swerve sweeteners or erythritol sweeteners, and they will actually absorb water just as efficiently as plain sugar will. And this is because of their chemical structure. And that's fine. We like that. So since this is keto and I do sweeten with Swerve and erythritol and monk fruit, all of those options, like I said, they do reconstitute really, really nicely. We're going to try it in just a second so I can talk to you a little bit about the flavor. I'm just adding a little bit more because some of this cabbage did not get the water. The meat was rather stingy. And I wasn't stirring it, which I know you need to stir. I got a fancy plate out for this, and I don't even need a plate. Stir it in. Okay, so I'm going to try a bite of that because I haven't eaten breakfast yet. And I'm sick, and I'm just going to do it because I can. I'm going to eat it. Okay, it's really good. However, it is lacking salt. It doesn't have a really salty flavor to it. So I would add salt to it, which is surprising because when I cooked it, it was perfectly salted. And I think that would have to do with, I honestly don't know. I'm going to look that up and figure out why the salt content would seem lower in one of these. And it might be how the Swerve acts, that sweetener. It might have something to do with that. I'm going to have to look at it and see. I'll let you know what that comes up with, and I'll put that in the comments. But the broccoli, I'm going to try broccoli. Ooh. The texture is excellent on the broccoli. It's just like I'm eating cooked, frozen broccoli cooked. It's really good. You want to try bite sauce? You good? We're all sick here. So it's like, I don't really want to eat. This actually turns out really good. And for being sick, nothing's been tasting good. And this actually tastes really good. So this is a keto win. Remember what we talked about. You do not have to overthink a keto dish. You don't have to overthink anything. Try it. If it seems like it's good that you like eating it, try freeze drying it. You don't have to do a whole tray. Do a little corner, try it. If it turns out great, then you know that is a dish that you can freeze dry and put in your storage. Do not hesitate to try things, because whatever you are trying to do with your eating lifestyle, the reason we're freeze drying is so that we can have control over our food. We might not have room to have like a garden, or we might not be close to a farmer's market, or we might not be close to some supply chain option. But that doesn't mean that you can't control what is in your food storage. You can, wherever you're at. And these things, my daughter helped me bag these up. They're light. They take up the room of your food, right? So fill a bin, tuck the bin under your bed. I've actually seen some amazing things on people, how they did storage and stuff. And I have to tell you, I lived in an apartment in Vegas, and there were ways that you can maneuver things around so that you have space for your food. Because I'm telling you, if it comes right down to it and we need food, you're gonna wish that you'd moved, that I would have traded that table for my to have food. I would trade that couch to have food. So find space in a closet, pull your shoes out, do something, find space for your food storage so that you can continue to have your keto lifestyle that you need. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, keto, it's so trendy. No. Keto is a lifestyle for people who cannot have carbs, for people who maybe might have brain injuries or mental health issues. Keto is amazing because it helps you. I have a friend whose daughter has seizures when she has too much sugar. That means she needs to have keto. So what they're saying is, oh, look, it's the end of the world and you have to have rice. Well, rice has sugars in it, and that would harm her daughter, and that's not good. So protect your lifestyle, protect your health. Don't just get wheat and macaroni and mashed potatoes and whatever and shove it in your food storage and think you're fine. You need to be planning for your food storage for your family. So right now, you have the opportunity to get a freeze dryer and if you don't have one, you'll get one. If you do have one, utilize it strictly for the things that you will eat. If your son or your daughter has food allergies, you control it. If you have keto issues and you need to eat keto, make keto dishes, but you need to make sure that you're protecting your way of lifestyle. Again, test it. Do a bunch of keto dishes, because if you're like me, my daughter and I like to eat. And on keto, there's a lot of great dishes. And so what you can do is take 6 casseroles, make them, portion them out onto your tray, pop them in, and then do a normal load of cheese or whatever. Put the dishes in, and then pull them out and try them all. Try every single one of them and make a note of it. I've got a planner that you can grab. It will let you know what kind of, so you can make notes and stuff for your foods and stuff that you're trying, how to reconstitute it. Did you like it reconstituted? Did you like it just like a cracker? What was the reconstitution measurements for you? Whatever works for you, that is something that you're going to want. Grab it. But you'll be able to make notes. Like, yes, I love the egg roll in a bowl. Hated the open cabbage roll. What is it called? Unstuffed cabbage rolls or whatever that one. I love that one. But I don't know that I love it freeze dried. I haven't decided yet. I've tried it, but whatever. Anyways, I digress. You might not like sausage, but you might love, just the Big Mac stuff, so you can have a Big Mac salad. There's all kinds of things that you can do for keto. Experiment with it. Give it a try. Cheese does really well. Sour cream does really well. So I don't know why a keto dish like chicken and broccoli casserole wouldn't be amazing. Give them a try. Let me know what you think is your favorite, and we'll go from there. Thanks you guys so much. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell dingy thingy for notifications. And again, let's hope my voice is better next time, because I am not enjoying listening to myself. Thanks. Have a great day. Welcome to the family.